America's Voice Live. Until then.
All right, folks, markets are closed, but don't look. Don't look at the screen. Look down, look away, look somewhere else. Dow Jones, rough day, 660 plus points lower, 110 lower in the S&P. NASDAQ down 475 points. Everyone's worried about tomorrow. Tomorrow's an inflation number. We're going to get some inflation numbers. We'll find out what the inflation, and here, don't forget, oil prices have gone up. Some things were happening. The weather caused some oil prices to go up. Typically, when oil prices go up, inflation tends to tick up. Wall Street's looking for lower inflation numbers for month over month, so we'll keep an eye on that. Just want to make you aware of that. Gold had been very, very good all day and then just got pummeled towards the end of the day, down 156. Silver down 10%, almost $9. Doesn't get any better in the crypto market, unfortunately. A big down day across the board, 65,000 in the Bitcoin. And my concern with Bitcoin is if it gets below 64, you might see in the 50s, low 50s actually very soon. So rough day on the markets, but hey, we live and we live on. And we got Trump in the office who's been very, very good for the markets. But before we move on, do you know if you're 64 or older? This is very important. Every year, too many seniors realize their Medicare plan doesn't cover the doctors that they actually trust. Suddenly, you're stuck finding new doctors or way overpaying. That's Medicare. You can spend hours researching, doing everything right, and still end up on a plan that costs you thousands more than it should. That's why Real America's Voice is partnered with Chapter. Chapter is the only national advisor that compares every Medicare plan. On average, Chapter will save people over $1,100 a year, on average. One caller named Jill said her Chapter advisor showed her options that weren't even on Medicare's own website. That's how broken the Medicare system is. Chapter is free. It's a free resource for my audience and can review all your options in under 20 minutes. If you're on Medicare or will be soon, call our friends at Chapter. Here's the number, 814-CHAPTER. That's 814-CHAPTER. It's help you can trust. All right, next guest up is the representative from the great state of Tennessee who posted on X that if George Washington were alive today, he'd join ICE. Always happy to have Congressman Andy Ogles back with us. Congressman, before we get into the SAVE Act, please explain your theory that George Washington would join ICE. I love this, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, look, he was a patriot that was defending his country. And quite frankly, when you look at it, I mean, he repelled the illegal invaders and shot some of them in the process. And so this idea that our founding fathers wouldn't have stood up for this country, wouldn't have defended the homeland is nonsense. And so I think it's fair to say George Washington would have been right there in the mix, making sure that our homeland is safe, that our communities are safe. And so, which is why I posted it. And of course, it makes the left go crazy, which is part of the fun.
When you say the invaders, we talking the British or the Indians? I'm not sure what we're talking about.
Hey, either way, he won. So that's what you call winning, baby.
All right. Talk to us about the SAVE Act. Tell us about the SAVE Act. There are those who think it may not pass the Senate, even if it gets through the House. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, the idea that the SAVE Act wouldn't pass is absolutely absurd.
Agreed.
So, you know, when you look at some of the other networks and other being the left-leaning networks, you know, this is an 80-20 issue. Republicans, Democrats, independents, blue states, red states, they all think that you should have to have an ID to vote. And so this is the Democrats understanding the fact that they're stealing elections, and the only way they can get away with it is if there's no IDs. And look, even Somalia is enacting a voter ID requirement for elections. And so, look, if Somalia can figure it out, I'm thinking that we can too. But this is quite frankly, an indictment against Democrats, an admission that they steal elections and that they need people to be able to vote without IDs.
Congressman, we've been talking about this a lot, and I'm going to present it again. CNN reported a very popular, wide-ranging poll. All political affiliations, not just Republicans, all affiliations.
That's right. White
voters, 85% agree with voter ID requirements. Latinos, 82%. Black voters, 75%. All independent, Democrat, Republican. What is the political play for the Democrats to put up such a fight to allow illegals to vote?
Well, they don't have one. And this is the problem with the Democrat Party is they don't have a platform. They don't have a message that's winning, and why I'm optimistic about the midterms. I think ultimately this will be a pocketbook election that will be determined and hinge on the economy. But the Democrats are floundering. Look, under the president of the United States, the border is secure. We are the dominant player globally again because of President Trump. We're taking proactive acts against Iran and other bad actors like that around the world. And so the Democrats have no message, that all they can do is cheat, lie, and steal. And again, when you look at Spanberger in Virginia, when you look at California, they're trying to juryman their way into the electorate and hold the House and take back the White House. But at the end of the day, the American people have had enough of this nonsense. They want a safe country. They want to know that prosperity is here today, but also for their children. And the Democrats do not have a way to deliver on that message. And kudos to President Trump for understanding that, understanding affordability, and doing his best to make sure he affects change for the American people.
Excuse me for quoting a complete rhino. I'm anti-Bushy completely, but George Bush had one of the smartest things, one of the dumbest presidents we've ever had one of the smartest, one of the smartest things he's ever said, the soft bigotry of low expectations. How much lower expectation can you have that you say a minority isn't smart enough or capable enough to get a simple idea of themselves?
Yeah, I mean, again, they struggle to land a message, and the polling speaks for itself. I mean, this is one of those opportunities where the Democrats can step up to the plate and say, "Hey, we've heard you," and be proactive, be in the community. Like, this could be a real outreach for the Democrats, because disproportionately, their communities are the ones that aren't registered. And so, but that being said, they don't want to do it because they also need the illegals to vote. And so, when you get to an electorate and when you look forward to the census, I think we should do another census. I don't think we should count the illegals, and that would change the House exponentially again as we go forward for our future. So there's a reckoning that's going to be had in the electorate. I think you're going to see it in the midterms. You're going to see it in the census, and it's because of President Trump. He's tired. He's saying the things that Americans are thinking, and that's why the Democrats are so befuddled, because they have no idea what to do next, because the president doesn't have a filter. He's willing to speak truth. He's willing to be on the cutting edge on the issues. And again, he leaves, I mean, when your best spokesperson is Hakeem Jeffries, I mean, again, you're going to swing and a miss every single time.
Congressman, even when and if it gets out of the House, it's got to go to the Senate for 60 votes. Yeah. Is that realistic? I'm not even sure you get 51 with this group of rhino senators we got running or serving.
Well, I mean, that's why there's talk about, ending that filibuster, getting it done with that simple majority. But look, we have to secure our elections. I've seen, if you go on social media, there's a list of all of the nations that require ID to vote. And one of the nations that's absent is the United States. That's absurd. Look, one of the things, if you're going to be a superpower, if you're going to be a sovereign nation, look, you need secure borders, you need a strong standing military, and you need secure elections. And right now, we don't check all three of those boxes, the third one being the one that we have to fix.
Just because this is technical, so many rules. You need people to interpret rules of the rules. In the Senate, to end the filibuster, just tell us the process very quickly.
Well, look, at the end of the day, obviously I don't have a vote in the Senate, but Thune has the ability to take Thune through the process, and there is a process where they could change the rules and they could get this done, even if they make an exception out of it. And by the way, the Democrats, if they were to flip the Senate, they would change the rules to their advantage without a doubt. They've even projected as such. So look, we've got to save the Republic, and this is the step forward for Thune. And this ultimately, I think, will decide his future leadership in the Senate as to whether or not he's able to hold on. It's going to come down to the SAVE Act.
Unfortunately, it happens to be such a high. It's not. Look at the polling shows. It's an at least 80-20 vote. At least 80-20, and we can't even get our own Senate. We can't even get John Thune to pull the levers that could possibly end the filibuster and get the SAVE Act across the board. Which, honestly, it's one of the reasons Trump got elected. That's right. It's probably the reason I got elected. Final thought, sir, before we go.
Well, I mean, ultimately, like you said, President Trump receives a mandate. One, he speaks plainly, directly to the American people. He says what people are thinking, but people want their country back. And part of securing our country, securing the future of our children, is securing our elections. And John Thune is going to have to do whatever he has to do, however drastic it may seem, to secure the elections. And the American people have said as much. Again, Republicans, Democrats, they want secure elections. They want a secure future for this country and their children. John Thune, it's up to you.
It's up to you. Prove yourself conservative, John Thune. I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. Congressman Andy Ogles, Tennessee, thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Thune, don't be a prune. All right, we just premiered a brand new and important Edge episode today. I think it's one of our best. Did you know right now, artificial intelligence is profiling everything you do, what you buy, when you buy it. It's even now smart enough to figure out how much you're willing to pay for things, even before you even need to decide if you're ready to pay for those things. That's how smart it's becoming. So we exposed a devious trick major retailers are pulling on us customers to extract maximum amounts of our money. I call it retail racism. Watch. The grocery store. Picture this. You walk into a store after work. You're exhausted. You're hungry. You just want to pick something up and go home. It's been a long day. The system knows that. It knows your phone, your routine, your spending patterns. The price you see is not the best price. It's the maximum price the algorithm thinks you'll tolerate. Is that fair? It's not what's equal, but the max, and they know from your own history, they know the max and they know you'll fork it over. By the way, that's not capitalism. Capitalism requires transparency. This is algorithmic extraction. And it doesn't stop at income. It's called dynamic pricing, and the Edge just exposed. It's being used in grocery stores, department stores, everywhere else. You definitely should watch this episode. You'll realize why subscribing to the Edge, no-brainer. Just hit that QR code with your phone, with the camera, or search out Eric Bolling in the Edge anywhere. Subscribe. We want you part of this important episodes. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
Freedom to speak your mind, freedom to protest policies you don't like, freedom to start a business, freedom to own property, freedom to vote, freedom to flourish. It's easy to take these things for granted, but for many people around the world, freedom is merely a dream, and those who fight for it risk losing everything, their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/rev today to help freedom become a reality for people fighting back against authoritarianism. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an exclusive Atlas Network hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. Atlas Network was founded to help pro-freedom organizations around the world develop, implement, and defend policies that foster freedom against tyranny. Visit atlasnetwork.org/rev or scan the QR code now to help us make freedom a reality for millions of people around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive hat. At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead. Scan the QR code now.
Flash a source in the chat. I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with the family I love.
Hi, Pat, from Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love Rav?
Because we've become family. All those Rav live chatters and me.
about all of your criminal activity? Everybody who would listen, the IRS and other agencies.
So you did go to the FBI?
I have talked to many people who have called me from law enforcement agencies.
When did you feed the Southern District of New York tons of Matthew?
People called me and asked me questions about you. I answered them truthfully and honestly.
So we have Matt Tierman is on tape admitting to be an FBI informant. He's the first time breaking news. This is pretty nuts, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, well, that's my property.
This doesn't look good for you, bro. You shot me in the heart. You say you want to kill me. I mean, a lot of people find that pretty concerning. You said when Charlie Kirk died, you wished.
Property.
No, we're gonna file a restraining order against you. So is that projection? Is that
my property?
No, that's my book.
No, it's not.
If you touch me, we have security, and they're gonna. Matt.
Let's bring our next guest, the founder of Project Veritas until 2023. He's now founded O'Keefe Media Group. If you haven't figured that out, it's OMG, a collective of citizen journalists who won't stay silent as corruption takes over our country. His RAV show is called On the Inside. I'm happy to have James O'Keefe with us. James, really good to have you, my friend. So I'm struck by this. I'll give you my Matthew Tierman story in a second, but I'm struck by how you were let down. You were so nice to him. You broke my heart, man. He has so much hate in his heart. Take us through it.
Hey there, my apologies. I'm in a vehicle headed to the airport. I'm always going to and from airports. But this is a massive story, actually, because 3 years to the day I was indefinitely suspended from the company I founded, and everyone, including all of your audience, is probably still wondering what the heck happened at Project Veritas. And this video answers the question. He admits to being a Southern District of New York confidential informant to the FBI. He admits to being an investor in various pharmaceutical companies that could be sold to Big Pharma, and he says he's not supposed to talk about it. And perhaps most sinister of all, he says he wants to kill me. He says that he shot my book with a rifle. We got a copy of this book from a source who gave it to us. He's been shooting at my heart. He wants to eat my heart. I mean, this is sick, vile. The worst quote was, he says, when Charlie Kirk was murdered, I wish it was James O'Keefe. This is a very sick individual, now exposed for the world to see. But what's shocking, Eric, is that he's on the board of many conservative organizations, and he still remains very closely tied with a lot of groups. So this is a very interesting expose, and perhaps justice comes 3 years later.
A couple of tons of questions here. Number one, we note that he was on the board of Project Veritas. Was he part of the group that had you ousted, as boards can do, to chair people? We know that. And also, where does his hate and disdain for you stem from? Do we know?
Some people say it's envy, that he wants to be me. This is a man who has attached himself to a lot of public known people. He was on Tucker's show all the time, on Steve Bannon's show all the time. So one of the problems in politics and in humanity, frankly, is just, we all know these types of people, is that he seems to attach himself to other people's success. That's what I'm not a psychologist, but he managed to get on the boards of a lot of different groups, and he was very, very clever and very manipulative, and managed to get close to me. But the video kind of is self-evident in his animosity, and his envy and resentment turns into a type of wicked vindictiveness that you're seeing on display here.
So, at one point, I thought I saw somewhere where he was or maybe accused of working with the New York Times. I don't know if he was or not, but it just strikes me as very beyond vindictive to go to Southern District and try and have you either arrested or even, as he points out, well, let's show it. He wants to have you killed. Watch.
I would kill him because he is one of the most evil people I've ever known. He is a true narcissist.
So we'll get into that. Can he even say that? I mean, I'm surprised the FBI is not breathing down his throat.
Yeah, he said that. He said I would kill James O'Keefe. He said I want to, quote, eat James O'Keefe's heart, carve it out of his chest. He also said that when Charlie died, he wished it was me. And that was probably the most shocking statement that he made. Eric, and then like I said, he had a rifle and he shot up the front cover of my book. There's a picture of me on my book, and the bullet went right through my heart. So we filed a criminal restraining order against him in Miami and Florida, where he lives. He's been stalking me for years. But perhaps the most interesting thing of all is that, like I said, he's got these investments in these companies that could be sold to pharma. You may recall we were investigating Pfizer at the time. So, and he also says, Eric, you mentioned a moment ago, he does work with the New York Times. His words. He plays all sides. He works for the New York Times, so it seems to show a person with no loyalties, no morals, no values. He says he wants $100 million. He's going to make this money. What we don't know is what consideration the FBI gave to him. So was he doing it because he did something wrong and they had him dead to rights, so that they needed him to be an informant against me, or was he getting consideration in terms of money or other payment for his ratting?
Anecdotally, James, 2020 or so, right before the election, I was called to the White House, a group of influencers. We brought in, Tierman was one of them, Matthew, whatever, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, a group of big players in the digital space. He was a creep. This is not evidence. This is not an indictment of the guy. I was really, really creeped out just by the way he walked around, the way he looked at people, doesn't ever look you in the eye. Again, anecdotal, but when someone threatens to kill you, eat your heart out, hopes you die, aren't there laws in this country to investigate, if not incarcerate?
All right, well, that's an existential question, Eric. Aren't there laws in this country? There's a lot of bad people doing a lot of bad things, and no one's held accountable for anything. I mean, I was held accountable for something I didn't even do. I was removed from my own company that I created by this guy. So that's a different subject for another day. I guess in the meantime, what we can do is expose it. The only recourse that we have in this country is, in my opinion, is exposure and sunlight. Like sunlight, the old metaphor, cockroaches scurry. And I think that in some regards, what these people fear more than anything else is sunlight itself. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all we have control over. But to your point, should laws be being enforced, there should be an immediate restraining order. He should be in jail if he messages me ever again. We filed that in the court. We'll see what happens. With that, I actually have faith in Florida that will happen. If he comes within 500 feet of me or anyone that works for me or anyone I have a relationship with, he needs to be held in contempt of court. That's what should happen.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. James O'Keefe Media Group. ONG, brother. Good to see you. Hey, by the way, be safe. It's a crazy world out there. James O'Keefe, thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be back 2.5 minutes.
Freedom to speak your mind, freedom to protest policies you don't like, freedom to start a business, freedom to own property, freedom to vote, freedom to flourish. It's easy to take these things for granted, but for many people around the world, freedom is merely a dream, and those who fight for it risk losing everything, their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/rev today to help freedom become a reality for people fighting back against authoritarianism. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an exclusive Atlas Network hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. Atlas Network was founded to help pro-freedom organizations around the world develop, implement, and defend policies that foster freedom against tyranny. Visit atlasnetwork.org/rev or scan the QR code now to help us make freedom a reality for millions of people around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive hat. At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead. Scan the QR code now.
flash a source in the chat. I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with the family I love.
Hi, Pat from Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love Rav?
Because we've become family. All those Rav live chatters and me.
All right, I think we've gone well beyond any shred of decorum or pomp and circumstance when it comes to the Democrats. Never mind that all of them are just swearing at everyone and everything and willy-nilly, but they're so far past that now. They've pressed far forward into a realm entirely unbecoming of government, and that's putting it lightly. We've jumped right past a few ear-popping four-letter words, they use them all the time, into straight-up, we're going to kill you mode. No doubt about it, Democrats have lost their minds. Let's just start with this. What on earth is this display right here?
Answer them.
Well?
Answer them. So let me ask you some questions that you may be able to answer. Mr. Lyons, do you consider yourself a religious man?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, how do you think Judgment Day will work for you with so much blood on your hands?
I'm not going to entertain that question.
Oh, okay, of course not. Do you think you're going to hell, Mr. Lyons?
I'm not going to entertain.
Of course not. How many government...
The gentlelady will suspend. The gentlelady will suspend.
Chairman?
A gentlelady will suspend as I...
Hey, Mad Dog.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. Can you show that little piece at the front again?
So let me ask you some questions.
One more time. One more.
So let me ask you some questions.
Thank you. That's all I need to hear. Do you think you're ever going to go to hell is the question a U.S. congressman should be asked ever by Todd Lyons, the head of the CBP. Should that ever happen at a hearing, no less? What's going on with Democrats? What is that line of questioning exactly? Also, ask. It's ask. It's not A-K-S or A-X-E. Ask. It's English. You're a member of Congress. You ask questions. You don't ask questions. What does it even mean to ask a question? Not really sure. What's happening? This isn't LaMonica MacGyver's first rodeo, by the way. Here she is in her classless splendor in a hearing back in December.
The greatest threat to the homeland right now is a Department of Homeland Security that the American people no longer trust, a department actively undermined by its own secretary. This is on you, Secretary Noem.
Well, now would be the perfect time for a reminder about who LaMonica MacGyver really is, a New Jersey congresswoman who called Secretary Noem the biggest threat and then demanded the head of the CBP, Todd Lyons, resign. Well, she's the one who assaulted federal officers at an ICE facility last year. And remember that right there? Check it out. And yet somehow Monica, assaulter of government officials, forgot that she assaulted government officials.
Is Trump embarrassed by your tenure, or is this exactly the kind of god-awful leadership he wants at DHS? Yes or no?
Ma'am, we've already conducted more oversight visits.
No, it's a yes or no. Yes or no. Okay, Secretary Noem, this is my time to talk, not your time to talk. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time.
This is who we're dealing with. This is the new Democrat Party, folks. Or how about this outright clown show threatening CBP commissioner?
Well, you better hope so. You better hope you get been pardoned, because you will be held accountable for the absolute disregard of the law your agencies have shown over the past year. Your agencies have lost the trust of the American people, with millions taking to the streets to protect the illegal actions of your agencies. And that's why I introduced a bill in the United States Congress to abolish ICE.
So, I'm sorry, does this congressman really speak English at all if he's not reading it right from the page? Indian-born congressman who barely speaks English calls for abolishing ICE and prosecuting officials for carrying out the will of the people. Great headline there, Democrats. What's more, threats, Delia Ramirez in the House, everyone.
So, Mr. Lyons, Mr. Scott, Mr. Edlow, you have weaponized the government. You have supported a fascist enterprise at the expense of our constitutional rights. You have violated the law But let me remind you, you will not always be in power. One day, you will be held accountable for your role in this dark moment in America.
They're just sitting in these hearings, bringing up lies, false narratives, blatantly attacking administration officials and cabinet members, questioning their faith, threatening them, all for show, all just virtual signaling. And you think they're kidding, but they're not. They put people on trial during prime time to make a point about January 6th. They will put every single one of these people on public trial and scream lies at them, make it seem like they're somehow worthy of taxpayer dollars, but all they are utter embarrassments to the country. And speaking of embarrassment, the brother lover is at it again. Just when you thought Ilhan Omar couldn't go lower, she goes lower. So the president made some comments about what's been going on in the state of Minnesota.
So you're going to still go after the whole waste, fraud, and
well,
abuse
I am
issue.
in Minnesota. Take a look at Minnesota. So we think it's at least $19 billion of fraud, medical, every fraud. Somalia has come in here. What they've done to our country, these people, they've come into our country, and what they have done with that fake congresswoman, she's so bad. No, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, so in response to the president pointing out the $19 billion of fraud and corruption going on in her state, and among her very own constituents, by the way, Somalians, Ilhan Omar chose to make a post referring to him as, quote, the leader of the pedophile protection party, and then wrote this little ditty. At least in Somalia, they execute pedophiles, not elect them. And since Ilhan Omar chose to block comments from being made on that post, we'll make them right here, shall we? Hey, brother Marrier, you can't call for the execution of the president of the United States after slandering him for the world to see and get away with it. Kash Patel, where are you, brother? Pam Bondi, where are you? You can't make threats against the president. You're not allowed to. You're shameful. You're shameful and embarrassment to the Congress, to this country, and to everything we stand for. You, Ilhan Omar, should be censored, removed, and guess what? Yeah, deported, where you can marry any of your relatives at will. And for the record, by the way, Somalia has some of the highest rates of child marriage in the world. 46% were married before age 18 in 2006. Those numbers are a lot higher now. And when there was a proposal to raise the marriage age to 18, there were viral videos of men in their 70s crying about it. 4 months ago, this happened. Ilhan Omar should sit this one out, don't you think? And every other one of them out. And by the way, every one of these Democrat jackals, too. But this is what the Democrat Party has become, calling for the execution of the President of the United States. Slander, threats. Like I said, no doubt about it, Democrats have lost their collective minds. All right, folks. We just premiered a new, very important episode today. It's one of our best. Did you know right now, artificial intelligence profiling everything you do, what you buy, when you buy it. It's even now smart enough to figure out how much you're willing to pay for things before you even think about if you're ready to pay for them at all. It knows how far you will go. I call it retail racism, because it will charge different people different prices, same product in the same store at the same time. We expose the devious trick major retailers are pulling on us customers to extract maximum amounts of money. Now, this isn't just online anymore. This is where it gets really dark and really ugly. Electronic shelf labels are now being rolled out across major retailers. Digital price tags on the shelves, not actual paper ones where they can change them and both people can see it at the same time. Digital. You know what that means? They can change the prices instantly. Sometimes they can change it when you've left the aisle and someone else is coming down the aisle. They can change it remotely, continuously, by your time of day, by inventory levels, by local demand, and eventually by you, who you are, what income level you represent. In other words, if they think you'll pay more than the other guy from another checkout aisle, they'll electronically make your price higher than his. The algorithm will decide what you can afford and what you're going to pay and what you're willing to pay. Is that legal? Is that even freaking legal? You walk down the aisle of a grocery store, if it's got electronic pricing, by the way, check it out. Sometimes it looks like paper, it's electronic, look real closely, and they can charge you different from that guy based on your income levels, based on how much you would spend, based on are you tired from getting home from work or not. It's called dynamic pricing, and the Edge just exposed it's being used in grocery stores, department stores, and more. You definitely should watch this episode of The Edge. You'll realize why subscribing to The Edge, no-brainer, folks. Just take your phone, hit that QR code with your camera, press the yellow button, or Eric Bolling in The Edge in the same search box. You'll come up, subscribe. This is a really, really cool episode. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching Rav, by the way. Thank you. Keep it on Rav all day, all night. Thank you for watching Bowling at 4. Thank you for subscribing. We will be back. We got a special guest for you at the end of the show, so stick around. 2.5 minutes.
There are few things more aggravating than seeing your tax dollars wasted by the government. All too often, when big government tries to save the day, the funds sent around the world to help people in need are diverted by corrupt leaders to line their own pockets, enrich their cronies, or further an agenda that has nothing to do with helping their countrymen. You can do a better job at promoting freedom than any government can. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV today to join the worldwide freedom movement. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an Atlas Network exclusive hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. We identify, train up, and celebrate local leaders as they work to make freedom a reality across the world. Our partners often risk everything: their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives to fight for freedom in places where authoritarianism reigns. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code to join our mission to help pro-freedom organizations around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive Atlas Network hat. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
I'm Patriot Mermaid, and I'm from West Haven, Connecticut. When the mainstream media wasn't giving us the truth, I went and looked for the truth and found it on Real America's Voice. Come and join us. Come on.
My name is Kyle. I'm with Real America's Voice because we can chat with each other, the hosts, even management. We are the RAV family, and we're better together.
We're seeing a string of employment headlines all at once. Layoffs surging, job openings falling, jobless claims ticking up. What's really going on? Well, here to discuss is Birch Gold Group precious metal specialist Philip Patrick. And I think we should point out, Philip, that the market's kind of sold off, all of them. I mean, it was equities, it was bond, everything sold off today. Commodities sold off. Gold did, so did Bitcoin. There's concern about CPI tomorrow. For me, inflation feels a whole lot better at 2.5% than 9.3% with Biden. But your thoughts on where the gold market goes from here?
Look, I think we've got a lot of upside. I think what we saw in terms of some downside in gold, silver earlier in the year, that was definitely welcome. We've seen a massive run up in both gold and silver. We needed some sort of price correction, a step back. One thing that's very clear, this was coming from the paper markets. This was not sort of long-term holders of physical gold and silver. This was coming out in paper markets. It was margin calls. It was profit taking. And like I said, ultimately it was welcome. We have to have some context. Silver was up 150% last year. Gold ended close to 70%. Silver was up almost 50% in the first few weeks of this year. We saw a retracement back on both, but I think we've set a new floor, and I think prices will continue to rise. So bodes well.
So I spent 15 years as a floor trader. I traded oil, but I also traded gold, silver, platinum, palladium, all of them. And I know what happened when that big run up and the big run sell-off happened. It wiped a lot of speculative traders out. Those weren't investors. Those are people who are specking on up, specking on down, got wiped out. And that's really healthy for a bull market. Gold's been in a bull market, folks. Forget it. As long as I've been trading, 75% year over year. Can you imagine if your house appreciated 75% in a year?
I mean, it's crazy. And listen, gold historically doesn't do that. It's not a 70% in a year grower. What it is a reflection of is systemic changes in the global economy. Central banks are reverting back to sound money. Gold, buying has set records. I think the last 4 years are the top 4 of 5 years of gold buying ever in central bank history. That's what's supporting it. And what's really interesting is buyers of gold and silver, it's predominantly governments today. These buyers are price insensitive. They're buying gold because it can't be seized, can't be printed away. They're buying silver because it is the future of AI and defense, and they'll continue to buy regardless of price.
Now, I never listen to Wall Street banks because they have agendas, but Goldman Sachs came out yesterday, I believe, and put a $6,300 an ounce number on gold. Off the top of my head, seems around 25 to 27% higher from here going forward. Folks should get involved, and I am, folks. I'm not just talking this. I walk the walk, but I talk the talk, but I also walk the walk. I buy gold every chance I can, physical gold through Birch Gold Group. Final thought, Philip.
Listen, I don't trust investment banks either, but when it comes to gold predictions, I do, because they don't have an interest in hyping up gold. They sell predominantly pro-cyclical assets. So historically, they've been very conservative when it comes to gold predictions. And you're correct, 6,300 from Goldman by the end of the year. Jamie Dimon said a few months ago, very offhand, in climates like this, gold could easily hit $10,000. That's where I think it's heading sort of medium term. And I think there's a ton of opportunities.
Got it. We're going to leave it right there. Philip Patrick, Birch Gold Group. Great, trustworthy gold, folks. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that hearing on Wednesday, pretty fiery. Thought apparently even some fireworks can't keep Jerry Nadler awake, but I do believe it's worth a little montage of Attorney General Pam Bondi showing that she won't back down, even when the snowflakes were on the attack in that House hearing.
I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. And none of them ask Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once when he was. Weak sauce. Also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Oh, is Jewish. I just want to be clear. So you want to go there, Attorney General?
I really like this bipartisan agreement about
when
what
it agrees with you. But you don't want to talk about Irina Zarutska. Do you even know who Chase Mulligan is? You're so obsessed with
I'm going to teach you the rules again. You're the Attorney General of the United States. We have rules here.
You're obsessed with him.
You're the Attorney General of the United States.
You're obsessed with Donald Trump. You have Trump derangement syndrome.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like my time restored.
I'd like my time restored. In your district. In your district. And you don't even know about it. About keeping children safe from online predators.
I'm reclaiming my time. And when I reclaim my time,
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady is reclaiming her time.
In the gutter for her theatrics. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now.
She makes a great point. Where were you complaining when Joe Biden was president and Merrick Garland was Attorney General? Yet another Democrat congressman who's more interested in slamming President Trump and this administration and letting DHS lose its funding completely than actually protecting the American people and stopping the invasion of this great country. Rhode Island Congressman Gabe Amo, should be Ammo. There's only one M. Put another M in that guy's name, it'd be Ammo. Anyway, joins a long list of worthless congressional members.
Well, look, I stand strongly with any agencies under DHS that could be affected, including the TSA, the Coast Guard, and FEMA. However, we cannot give another penny to the Department of Homeland Security to merely bring terror to communities across this country.
Senator Thune, though, Congressman, says that if you guys allow this to happen, you will be the federal employees at TSA will be held hostage by Democrats.
Well, look, that's a choice that Republicans are making.
You know, the things Democrats are saying about how voter ID will suppress voting just gets more and more ridiculous by the day. I'm so confused as to how asking for a government-issued ID, something you need to buy cold medicine, is actually about silencing voices from the party that actually silences voices under Joe Biden for 4 years, by the way.
Let's stop pretending the Save America Act is about election security, because it is not. This bill is about power and silencing Americans. Republicans don't want voting.
All right, we're going to jump over because Kristi Noem is speaking live right now. Let's take a listen in, at least for a few minutes.
About the ones that are already in our borders. Right now, in prisons and jails across California, ICE has lodged detainers on over 33,000 criminal illegal aliens. Instead of honoring these detainers against criminals who've trafficked drugs and committed crimes across the American people, Governor Newsom and California's sanctuary policies have released over 4,500 criminal illegal aliens back onto the streets to create more victims that will harm more Americans. We need him to work with us and these local law enforcement and community leaders and elected officials here in California to protect Americans, to make sure that we're interdicting more of these drugs before they poison more Americans. And we need them to work with us to help make sure that we're keeping our law enforcement safe. Our ICE officers and CBP officers are facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them, a 3,200% increase in vehicular attacks against them, and an 8,000% increase in death threats against them. On January 23rd, an illegal alien here at the San Diego Sector Border Patrol attacked a law enforcement officer, hit him in the head with a rock, left him lacerated, bruised, and bleeding. He was hospitalized, but his assailant did escape. That attack was the 7th recorded assault on a Border Patrol agent in San Diego since October. Law enforcement officers take an oath. They pledge to protect citizens, and they work hard to uphold to the truths that our founders created this country on. In the Declaration of Independence, our founders pledged their lives, their fortune, and their sacred honor to keep people safe, so that fellow Americans and our children could live in freedom, that they could live in safety. And that's the same pledge that our law enforcement officers take each and every day. They deserve our gratitude. They deserve our thanks, because their job never ends, and they keep working every single day to make sure that Americans are safe, that they're protected from criminals that would not just traffic them and their children, but also traffic these drugs in to kill our next generation. I want to thank you all for being here, and I have all the confidence in the world of the law enforcement standing here today to continue to do their work, to protect Americans. And with that, I want to introduce Chief Banks to come up and share a few words with you as well. Chief?
Thank you, Madam Secretary. As the Secretary said, my name is Michael.
All right, folks, that was Kristi Noem, and we're going to pick it back. We'll take a listen, but I think we're going to get back to the show. We have a very special guest right on the other side of the break. You want to stick around? We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
There are few things more aggravating than seeing your tax dollars wasted by the government. All too often, when big government tries to save the day, the funds sent around the world to help people in need are diverted by corrupt leaders to line their own pockets, enrich their cronies, or further an agenda that has nothing to do with helping their countrymen. You can do a better job at promoting freedom than any government can. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV today to join the worldwide freedom movement. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an Atlas Network exclusive hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. We identify, train up, and celebrate local leaders as they work to make freedom a reality across the world. Our partners often risk everything: their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives to fight for freedom in places where authoritarianism reigns. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code to join our mission to help pro-freedom organizations around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive Atlas Network hat. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access. Plus, commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
I'm Patriot Mermaid, and I'm from West Haven, Connecticut. When the mainstream media wasn't giving us the truth, I went and looked for the truth and found it on Real America's Voice. Come and join us. Come on.
My name is Kyle. I'm with Real America's Voice because we can chat with each other, the hosts, even management. We are the RAV family, and we're better together.
From powerhouse vocalist Natasha Owens, known for standout singles like Trump One and Somali Waltz, comes her brand new release, The Boss, released on Real America's Music. This is the direct response to Bruce Springsteen's recent release, The Streets of Minneapolis. While Springsteen once branded himself as a voice of the working class, The Boss gives a voice to everyday Americans and reminds listeners who truly shapes the future. The Real America's Voice audience has the power to move charts and shake the industry. Download it right now. Scan the QR code or search The Boss on iTunes. Push it up the charts. Make them notice.
Yes, most recent song for Real America's Music, RAM, called The Boss, which is a response to Bruce Springsteen's ICE protest song, Streets of Minneapolis. What a jerk. Well, happy to have back on the show singer Natasha Owens. Natasha, you released, you shot right up, you blew right past Springsteen. I had no idea at the time you were on a week ago, at the time that the Springsteen song that you blew past was this ode to the protesters of Minneapolis. Wow. Congratulations. Tell us, how are things going now?
You know, it's amazing. Within 12 hours, we pushed Bruce out of the #1 spot on the rock charts, and he has a massive operation behind him. We're not even allowed to advertise. So the people really spoke and helped, and we are holding tight in the top 10 on that rock chart even today.
You know, you're above on the total chart, all music on Apple. We did some research, and you're also above on the rock chart. So tell us, what are fans telling you about your shot at The Boss? By the way, listen to the lyrics, folks. They're great. It's like people who love Springsteen are really, really disappointed in where he's gone with his career, become so political. Tell us about it.
You know, he used to be the voice of the working man, of just the middle America. And he took away their voice a long time ago whenever he just embraced this liberal ideology. And so I gave that voice back. And people are thanking me. People are saying they're in tears watching it because they were such a Bruce Springsteen fan and they're so disappointed. And this is their response back. They're tagging Bruce saying, "What she said, Bruce, absolutely." And they're claiming me that I am now the new boss. Of course, my husband says, put a Y on that. I'm bossy. I'm not just the boss. So we marketed it as a rock song. And Ram has been amazing, Real America's Music, and we're going to do more with them. We're going to put out a full record, hopefully in the near future. But Billboard, which those results come out on Tuesday, they not only said it was rock, but I charted on country and alternative rock. So we are gaining territory in this culture war, and I have you guys to thank for it. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll keep going because we love it. We love the song. We love you calling out the hypocrisy on the left and the celebrity left, and musicians, the celebrities, the movie stars, not only the politicians, the full left, total ripe with hypocrisy. Folks, there's that QR code right at the bottom of the screen there. Just take your camera, aim your camera right at it. You know how to do it. You've done it 11,000 times for The Edge. Do it for this song. Let's get that thing up there. Let's get Billboard to put that song above The Boss. We got to do this. Natasha, any idea on what the next song might be?
Well, you know, when we came on your show just 2 weeks ago with a Somali waltz, The Boss had not even been a glimmer in our eye. We had not decided to do that. And we put it out in 6 days in response to him, which was unheard of. Who knows what topics are going to hit this week that's going to get our attention and say that deserves a song. So just stay tuned. I'm putting my seatbelt on because we are pumping these things out fast.
Yeah, you are, and you're doing a great job, Natasha Owens. Keep it up. We support you fully and get you back on here as things progress with this song. Billboard, come back on and tell us about it, or the next one. Natasha Owens, the song is The Boss. It's smoking the actual Boss, Springsteen, in the charts. There it is, the QR code. You can buy it on iTunes too. Download it on iTunes, and let's move this thing up. Not just for Natasha, for America, folks. For America. Let them hear you. Real America's music. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll tell you another way to do it. Send us a voicemail. You love the voicemails. We love listening to your voicemails. Let us know what you like, what you want to hear, what the next song should be. Speaking of voicemails, Mad Dog, what do we got?
Viewer has some colorful words about foreigners in the U.S.
Man, you always get my heart going, and it just pumps the blood pressure. I'm watching your program on the 11th today with Charlie's pal. Yeah, of course. I'm glad I reached out. But you know what? I had Real America's Voice. I watched it on Pluto. Now I'm back over to the other Paramount. And you know what's pissing me off? These foreign freaking languages, every freaking commercial. We got the going on. And then when they do the lottery, they got the freaking Mandarin bullshit. I know Charlie was compassionate, but you know what? Screw you if you don't speak English. Because you are freaking totally disrespecting me. So go back to your holes. I tell people daily out here, go back to your hole if you don't speak English. This is bullshit, 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 bullshit. Screw these if you haven't been here, your family hasn't been in America more than 300 years, it's 300, because mine's been here. You ain't American.
All right. Well, listen, we're very passionate. Just to clear something up, when the Real America's Voice feed goes out, those advertisers have put in Roku and in the other. That's them putting it in. They're certainly not Real America's Voice doing it. You watch the feed here; those advertisers come from Real America's Voice. So don't shoot the messenger here. But I get what you're saying. By the way, Trump said English is the language, the only language, official language of the United States. Now we just got to get Congress to approve that idea. Mad Dog, what else?
Viewer has some kind words for you.
Oh.
Hi, Eric. Sandra from Pennsylvania. You're doing an amazing job. We absolutely love you. We watch you every night. We just want to thank you for your service to this country through the media and are just so blessed to be able to watch you every day.
Oh, well, I'm blessed to be able to bring the show to you. And thank you for staying on Rav's. Thank you for staying on Bowling at Rav at 4 Eastern. Dog, we got another one?
Yes, sir. Viewer loved your interview with Colvette.
Mr. Bowling, that 15 minutes you spent with Andrew Colvette was probably the best 15 minutes of your show since you've been on Real America's Voice, probably including Fox. And it was showing, you were sitting there, and I would have sworn you were an Andrew Colvette fanboy. All right? I swear to God. But I don't blame you, because the guy I've been watching Charlie a long time, and I was excited whenever he came on Real America's Voice. I was like, no way, I can't believe it. And no, Andrew's the man. Andrew is an amazing individual, and there's a whole lot in store for him going forward in the future. Talk about a safe pair of hands. My goodness. And you know, that guy was like a bruiser in college. He was like big football player and all that sort of thing. You wouldn't like him up.
We appreciate that. Yeah, I agree with you. Not a fanboy. I've known Andrew a really long time. I remember Andrew 10 years ago. We used to hang out with Andrew. He was part of Turning Point at the time, much lower responsibility. My concern was, and I said it to him at the end, I've known you a long time, Andrew. It was happy-go-lucky back then. You've been handed the weight of the world on your shoulders to continue Charlie's message going forward. That's heavy. I just wanted you to see how really well he was taking. It was a great 15 minutes we did with him. And no, yeah, okay, fine. I'm a fanboy. I like the guy. He's a good man. He's a good family man. Big fan of his and friend for a long time. Folks, great show. We have another one lined up for you tomorrow.